Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome into Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Lindsay. Well, I think we've got some exciting news today. There's a huge story that broke in Mississippi Today, written by Jerry Mitchell and several, I think, of his other reporters that have been working on what we all know in this community as the Goon Squad stories that have been infamous about the attacks on, I believe it's Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker back in 2023 by the members of the Goon Squad who've been sentenced in federal court, I think sometime last year it was. And so all of that. So there was a Lindsay, there was a settlement of that case that was filed by Attorney Trent Walker, who I know pretty well. And I believe they settled it at
2.5, right?
2.5. And I think that was policy limits was the 2 million. And then the sheriff's department kicked in another 500,000. If I'm getting that right, Jerry might know when we talked to him. There's a Saturday breakfast and Lindsay's more familiar with this. Can you explain
These are my people.
Tell the audience, what is this Saturday breakfast we're going to talk about?
So, in Madison, we have Grip and Grin, and it's at Mama Hamill's the first Wednesday. In fact, they have Grip and Grin today. Go out there, get some lunch, and hear from Jason White, our Speaker of the House. But in Rankin County, the GOP holds a breakfast at it's Cypress Point. It was McLean Lodge, and they hold that the first Saturday of every month. I try to get out there when I can, but it's really early for a Saturday morning. But yeah, that's where the GOP kind of has their little monthly meeting function.
And in Rankin County, it's at the beginning of the month.
Yes, first Saturday of the month.
It's kind of like the Republican meeting breakfast kind of thing. Prayer breakfast, is that what it's called, I think? Or is that right?
I don't know that it's called a prayer breakfast, but there's usually a speaker. I think our friend Nick Bain spoke there recently. And they gather and they talk about politics and eat breakfast.
Well, during, I think it was this past Saturday, I'll let Jerry clarify when this happened. And Rankin County Supervisor Steve Gaines made some comments regarding the settlement of the cases against Michael.
Who, by the way, is already in hot water over the land dispute and the things happening over there this week.
With Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker, I think he made some comments like, we beat the pants off of them. They're dopists and rapists or something to that effect, that he was caught on recording. So it wasn't like he didn't say it. He's actually recorded saying this. And we'll discuss that with Jerry for a minute. But we've got Jerry Mitchell from Mississippi Today on the line right now.
Go right to him. Jerry?
Yes.
Hey.
Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Hello?
You there?
I'm here.
Okay. Hey, Jerry, how you doing?
Doing great.
Hey, Jerry. So we were just kind of explaining to the audience about this incident with Steve Gaines, and Lindsay was explaining what this breakfast is at McLean's, a Republican breakfast. It's a monthly thing.
Sure.
And isn't that breakfast is originally organized by, isn't it Earl Dean Rhodes and Sheriff Bailey? Is that right?
Yeah, Earl Dean was the original one who organized it, and then Sheriff Bailey kind of joined in with it.
Okay. Yeah. And so what we're talking about, the article that you wrote, when did this was this last weekend or was it a couple of weeks ago or when was it?
Saturday. No, Saturday.
This past Saturday.
Yeah, first Saturday of every month, Sean. First Saturday of
every month. Okay, I forget. Right, it was the first weekend in May. So can you explain exactly what you're reporting, what happened, so the audience can understand?
Yeah, sure. So it was this gathering, and they have these gatherings, and various people get up and speak. And so Steve Gaines was one of the speakers.
Okay.
And look, I had no idea, he was going to say what he said. I had come there because they had just settled the case, and I thought, well, the sheriff may say a few things about this. Let me go. I'll tape everything. And
because Jerry, you have followed this case very closely, correct?
Yeah. The Goon Squad case is kind of the shorthand for it's kind of emerged. So yeah, I had no idea Steve Gaines would say anything of import. I just was recording it. And just to be honest, was kind of shocked when he said the things he said.
Was he at the mic? Was he speaking like a microphone? Like this was just, or was just?
Yeah. Okay. This was in front of a crowd of about.
There's a podium.
How many people you said?
About 100.
Okay, so he's on stage with I didn't know if this was like a conversation he was having with somebody in the group.
This isn't private. This is totally public to this group that gathers for breakfast with the sheriff and everybody, and it's basically very public. It's not. This isn't private in the sense of it's somebody's home or or that I didn't ambush this guy at all. I just was sitting there mainly, like I said, to listen to what I figured the sheriff might say.
Did your jaw hit the floor, Jerry? I can imagine your jaw probably hit the floor. I can't believe they said this publicly.
Yeah, well, I got to be honest. I was very shocked. I was very surprised to hear remarks from a Mississippi politician like this. It just harkens back to a different.
Did we lose him?
Are you there, Jerry?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, we get
cut out for a second.
Yeah. So did they see you there? Because they know you've been working on these articles for the last like 2 years almost or something.
No, it's me. And I sat in a place where, it wasn't purposeful on my part. It was like I wasn't walking in to be unseen per se, but I happened to sit at a booth that had a high back just behind, where the microphone was. Like I was sitting just a little bit behind.
Were you hiding out, Jerry?
I was hiding out. Yeah, I wasn't really. I just was. That was the next empty booth.
But you didn't sign in for Earl Dean to like recognize you from Mississippi Today or anything like that.
I did not sign in. I just walked in.
Yeah.
And so I was there.
Well, I just assume most of those
heard the whole thing, and it's all on tape. I didn't,
Oh, we've listened to it.
I figured it. Yeah.
I think most of the communities listen to it by now. Well, I just figured with that cast of characters that you've been reporting on for so long that they would have immediately said, okay, there's Jerry Mitchell. We don't need to say anything bad. Like that would seem like that would be.
Yeah. Well, they didn't see me walk in. I know that. Like the sheriff and his daughter were talking to someone, or Earl Dean was talking to someone. They just didn't see me when I walked in.
That's
anyway. I know, and I didn't see. No one else apparently, I gather, recognized me. I didn't. I don't know. Maybe they did, but I just went in and sat down. I sat out at the first booth that was open, and it just so happened to be one of those booths that had like the high backs on it, so you couldn't see. Like once I sat down, nobody could see me, and I wanted to leave there before. They kind of started getting into various people politicians getting up there to talk about running for governor or whatever. So to me, I didn't care about that. So I left. So.
Is there, like to ask, this is just something I was wondering because I listened to your recording several times and I wonder if anybody else out there picked this up. Is there drinking allowed at this event? Do people drink at this event?
It's early. It's like 8 o'clock.
That doesn't mean anything, Lindsay.
It was 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't see any drinking, but maybe someone was secretly imbibing and I didn't see
I don't start till at least lunchtime.
Well, his voice just sounded like that could be possible. I don't know that. I just listening to his voice.
I don't know. I'll leave that for everybody else to decide. I didn't, I didn't hear any slurring of words, like things you would normally associate with someone being drunk. So, yeah.
Did you hear a gasp? Like, did people go, oh, like, I can't believe he said that?
I think, he was just he went on for a while and he talked for like 20 or 30 minutes. So he just,
maybe he had been kind of tuned out by everyone.
There was someone there who will remain nameless that I know. And I'll share his comments since I'm not sharing his name. As he told me privately. And so he told me, he said, yeah, I didn't know I'd walked into a Clucker rally.
Well, that's Jerry. That's funny because I've shared that with a lot of friends of mine, law enforcement and local, I guess, politicos. And that's kind of been the whole theme of this has been like, I can't believe after all of this guy said this, something like
not a good look.
Which is kind of like it's playing on the stereotypes that the outside world already thinks. And now you just kind of proved it. Through that.
It does kind of play into those tropes that have long existed, not just in Mississippi, but elsewhere as well. And so, yeah.
So, Jerry, we had gotten a couple of comments asking about the background from these guys since the comment was, that they were drug addicts or rapists. What do we know about the background of these two guys?
I think one of them has a drug conviction we found in the records. Over in Alabama. But they're not to my knowledge, are not rapists, or, I mean, maybe there's some charge somewhere. You know what I mean? But I mean, not that we're aware of, anyway. And I know that the other attorney, I talked to Trent Walker, but then the other attorney, Malik Shabazz, had mentioned, you know, that basically that this was slanderous, and obviously, if it's slander, then it, you know, you could potentially be sued for it. Yeah.
Did that's another thing I was going to ask you. So the statement, of course, is we beat the pants off of them, and he was congratulating. I think it was Jason Dare, the county, the sheriff's department.
He was going on and on about Jason Dare, and then he starts talking about he beat the pants off those dopers and, you know, rapists who, you know, people that rape our daughters, and it was just, like I said, it kind of plays into that trope.
I bet they wanted to go back and renegotiate that $2.5 million settlement.
That was going to be my question, Jerry. As far as I know, Lindsay and I were talking about this. The $2 million was actually the insurance policy limits. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, the insurance policy was $2 million, and then the $500,000 is Jason Dare said is going to come out of the sheriff's budget.
Okay.
Which obviously is still taxpayer money, but out of the sheriff's budget. I don't know.
They're going to have to sell a lot of eggs.
Explanation. What's that?
So they're going to have to sell a lot of eggs.
Lindsay was making a chicken farm reference to your other article.
Yeah, chicken farm reference, yeah.
That's the,
anyway, the thing that hasn't arisen yet, I'm sure will arise in the future, the question is, I know the sheriff's office was having trouble getting that insurance policy. Okay, before the Goon Squad stuff. Okay, so if you have just gotten $2 million from your insurance company, at a minimum, your premiums are gonna go up, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, that's
just like if you have a car wreck and it's your fault.
Absolutely,
you're gonna pay more in premiums, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Or you're not going to be insurable.
Are these like the surety bonds for politicians? Is that what insurance policy is?
This is a different, it's a county insurance policy, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's and so I don't know this. I mean, this is all speculation now we're entering into. So there could be the potential for Rankin to not be able to get insurance anymore. Put it this way: they're going to pay more, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of. It's an educated guess by me. They're going to pay more. I think that's accurate.
Yeah, I would think that you'd have a problem with the county being insurable based on, like, if there's, and I don't know if the insurance policy works, like, is it each instance of conduct or
for instance, Jackson Police, they're self-insured.
Yes, that's correct.
The city of Jackson is self-insured.
That's right.
So if that's the case, then if Rankin has to self-insure, well, that's a whole different matter, man. I mean, that's a whole different matter. Now, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I don't know. But I do know there's going to be an issue with regard to future insurance. I think that's a safe bet.
And I think also, if you look at it, that's a great point. Like, Steve Gaines' comments, even though I don't know whether they're slanderous and they possibly are, I mean, I don't think he's incorrect about that. But I think if your insurance company evaluating the insurability of Rankin County and you see one of the district supervisors make a comment like that, I'm going to be less likely to do business. You're like, these guys, I don't know what could happen next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that kind of hurt because that's the kind of thing.
The other part of that, aside from his comments, which is, is the reporting that Brian and Nate did with regard to the Goon Squad, where they uncovered similar incidents to Jonathan Parker dating back for 2 decades. So if you start thinking about from that perspective, from a liability perspective, how likely are you to want to,
not
immediately
very
insure Rankin County?
Yeah,
that becomes, that
becomes a problem,
a bigger question. I'll put it that way.
That's true.
Well, Jerry, we're going to take a break. Can you stay with us and do another segment?
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
All right. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here with Jerry Mitchell from Mississippi Today on WYAB 103.9, Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay. Sean and
103.9 WYAB. At Johnny's Pizza House, we consider our customers like family, so we spend the extra time needed to put more love into making our pizza. From our dough made fresh daily to fresh, never frozen ingredients, Johnny's Pizza House takes pride in knowing that what we serve our customers isn't just pizza. It's a slice of home in every single bite. Great traditions start with great food and great people. Start your tradition today with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym, 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Doctor, they see doctor, what's your diagnosis? My whole house was hot as a fever, now my house frozen, cause my air conditioning's on. Doctor, my AC's broken. Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
The AC Doctors is your one-stop provider for air conditioning and heating installation, service, and repair. Contact us for money-saving repairs and lower energy bills.
Doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
Google the AC Doctors and get some relief today. TheACDR.com.
The weather is heating up and the deals are even hotter at Mazda of Jackson. Right now at Mazda of Jackson, you can drive home your dream Mazda with low financing rates available. 2.9% for 72 months on most models, or finance 36 months and pay just 0.9%. That's right, 0.9%. Experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability. It's time to choose Mazda. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection. I've been selling real estate now for well over 30 years, and I typically use Chadwick Home Inspectors. And Chad has done many, many home inspections for me.
They are pretty much from roof to foundation. Most people are surprised at just how thorough these home inspections can be. Been working with Rita almost a decade now. Very rarely does she let a deal fall apart. She can usually find a way to negotiate where both parties are satisfied.
RitaJensen.net. Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Come together.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay, and we are discussing the comments made by the Rankin County supervisor concerning the Goon Squad settlement. We have got Jerry Mitchell with us on the line. Jerry, you still there?
I am.
Great.
Jerry, I got a question. So we were talking about the settlement amount, which was $2 million in policy limits and $500,000 kicked in by the sheriff's department. Well, my confusion is, when Steve Gaines is saying we beat the pants. I mean, how do you beat the pants off somebody when you give them policy limits? Like that's not beating the pants off somebody.
You have to ask him about that. I mean, I think they tried to spin it certainly as a victory from the standpoint of, it could have been worse. Maybe I think maybe the fact
After a
Jason
trial,
Dare
yeah.
tried to
I would think after
Jason
a
Dare
trial.
tried to emphasize this isn't going to cost taxpayers any increase. That's what he kept saying. This isn't going to cost taxpayers any increase. And of course, it's still going to cost taxpayers money.
Sure.
I mean, I think that the idea that if you have an insurance agency paying out $2 million, and the idea is taxpayers aren't going to have to, pay for any of that. Well, on one hand, yes, but on the other hand, just what we're talking about, what happens now is once you have basically made an insurance company pay $2 million. I just don't see a lot of other insurance companies lining up to want to protect you or, be able to sell you a policy. Yeah, they might sell you a policy for like some exorbitant amount, but they're not. I mean, after you've been paid out $2 million and there's evidence that this went on for that other incidents may arise. I mean, we've already got other incidents we know about publicly. I mean, are you really gonna sell a policy to folks when your insurance company might be maxed out for even more than that? Yeah.
That's why I thought it was funny to comment we beat the pants on them, because you gave them policy limits, then you kicked in some money on top of the policy limits.
Right.
What you did is you prevent yourself getting wrecked at a trial with a federal court jury that may have hammered them for something exorbitant.
You could have. I mean, this. I mean, John, I'm telling you anything you'd already know. I mean, I'm not saying I have no idea what the jury would have done. No idea.
Sure.
And obviously, Mississippi juries are conservative and everything else. But given the evidence of, the deputy putting the gun in the guy's mouth and firing it, when there was no drugs there and planning the gun and drugs and everything else, I just can't see a jury would have walked away from that and not been a big verdict. Yeah.
That's what I think. There's
and maybe that's what Gaines is trying to say. We beat the pants off of them because we didn't have to pay him a bunch of more money.
And I know there's, I'm a criminal attorney, as you know, but I'm not on civil, but I do know that Mississippi's got caps on what's called punitive damages. And I don't know if that would have been, obviously that would have been something that's involved in this. So they could have been potentially.
I would think punitive would have been, certainly would have been argued. I mean, we don't know what a jury would have done, but you certainly could have the potential for punitive in that case, especially with evidence that this had been going on for years. You follow what I'm saying?
I do think there's something called and again, I don't practice much civil law, so it's a Mississippi Tort Claims Act, and there's limits on that. But that's something for Trent Walker to answer and what kind of work he does.
It's for other lawyers.
Yeah, for the lawyers that do that stuff.
This same supervisor also made some other comments that were not necessarily directed at the goon squad or the settlement, but something that really grinded my gears was the comment he made about schools and tax dollars coming across the river. And I thought, just how low can you go? I mean, can we just put all the racist comments in my speech and say them all today in front of everyone, God and Jesus and everybody?
Jerry, Lynn's got a good point. What did he mean by people bringing their kids across the river? Did he mean moving to Rankin County?
Well, it's not my job to decide what he meant by that. I mean, I think, I know when I talked to Angela English and Trent Walker, they both considered it, racial references, obviously.
I think across the river obviously means Hinds County, which is predominantly black.
It's an obvious reference to the Pearl River, and obviously, once again, this is something that fits into that, unfortunately, fits into kind of that trope.
Sure. Yeah, I think it does. I mean, you've got, a supervisor talking about, we beat the pants off these guys that were tortured by the goon squad, and then is making references about people coming over the river, which obviously are black people. And
school choice has been a big deal.
Right. Is that a good point? So, I mean, that's I just think, Jerry, that that kind of conduct damages the county's reputation, or already more than it already has been damaged, which is unfortunate.
The state, the state, we're already
state
looked at as, just being so racist. And so, I mean, it's not good for Mississippi.
No. I think and Rankin County's got so many good people that live there and so many good elected officials, and it sucks that
yeah.
there's kind of,
This is not a knock on Rankin County at all.
Mhm.
This is something that this guy said at a meeting. Now, obviously, it's unfortunate.
And it made it worse because he is an elected official. So then you're like, okay, is this representative? And I know it's not, because I know the people, a lot of elected officials there and people that live there, and it's not that true. But you've got that kind of a thought process that just, after this, it seems like you'd be more humility in the situation.
Yeah. Let's read the whole comment that he said. I mean, just to make clear, it was alluded to. It was, and this was an almost all white audience. I think I saw one black Mississippian there. There may have been others, but that's the only one I saw. And he said, how do you feel about paying the taxes that you pay and the people from across the river coming over here and putting their kids in your school? They're going to pay taxes maybe 1 year or maybe not at all.
They're going to, he says, that's right. They're going to pay taxes maybe 1 year or maybe not at all. Assuming that, I guess, trying to say that people may be poor.
And he was talking before this about property taxes, about how your property taxes are paying for schools.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Sure.
Yeah, big argument. They've been pretty vocal in Rankin County that they are not fans of school choice. I'm a huge advocate, Jerry, of school choice. Like, that's kind of one thing that I really care deeply about, and think that all children deserve the right to the best education that suits their personal needs.
And also,
right.
Jerry,
Anyway.
I know you and I have talked about the federal investigation in the past in this case, and I do wonder, like, does this put more pressure on the feds? Like, something is, like, I know it's kind of stupid as the best way to put it is this, but I feel like, the feds now get more pressure to look into more stuff in Rankin County because the comments like this were made public.
Well, I think that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that, but obviously it's not a good look, for Rankin County, when you have one of your top officials, saying this. So
not a good week for him at all. Not a good week.
No, and obviously the more comments like that are made, regardless of whether he's the one making that remark or not, it's one of those things that certainly can come back and bite you. Just like we're, let's say hypothetically that Eddie Jenkins and Michael, Eddie Parker and Michael Jenkins come back and sue for slander.
Yeah,
they could.
Right. Yeah, they could. I mean, they could definitely do that. And
I probably would if I was them.
Well, I think Tread Walker, their attorneys, kind of sounds like he's made it clear they most likely are going to sue, so they get some more money. I don't know if that attaches down. I don't think it probably, there's a private comments made by, I don't think that's going to involve any county money, but I mean, it's going to involve money from Steve Gaines to them.
It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. What effect, if any, this has, like you mentioned, the Fed. I don't know what attention or whether this will not that there's anything in the comments but like you said, maybe this could feel like thumbing their nose to some extent at what happened.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
And people are serving between 10 and 40 years in prison for this,
Right. It was, very serious thing. I mean, it could just look like, hey, you guys didn't take this that serious. And that, I mean, there's a big DOJ Civil Rights Division that we worked with them on the, Daryl Dedman case, about 13 years ago or 14 years ago.
Right.
And I tell you one thing, seeing that case, they uncover every rock. Let me tell you, like, if you get the FBI down, I mean, and I'm sure the FBI has already been doing that, and God knows what's kind of information is, that they've collected over the last few years.
Yeah. They just prosecuted another guy the other day. Now, it wasn't Rankin County, but they just, was he part of a task force or something like that? Got 22 months,
something like that.
The other day in federal court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. I mean, they're
for slapping someone, and I thought to myself, "Oh my,
that's nothing compared to what the Goon Squad did."
How many other cases are there like that?
Mm-hmm.
And again, the Goon Squad was not just these guys that went off to prison.
Right.
Let me be clear: the Goon Squad, by the way, was the shift. It's gotten to be the shorthand for that one case, but that was a shift. They called it the Goon Squad. Right. And some of the guys that were involved in the Jenkins Parker thing were not technically part of the Goon Squad.
That's
But
right.
they had their own WhatsApp channel. They had those coins, all that kind of stuff. So there was stuff like this beyond what was kind of referred to as the Goon Squad that was going on in the Rankin County Sheriff's Department for 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's just what we have documented. It may have even gone before that, and I wouldn't doubt it.
That's crazy stuff. I just, hopefully this will all be rectified in the end. And I mean, a lot of it has been.
Yeah. You want to see a good resolution to this.
But Jerry, you guys have done your team. You guys have done great work. Thank you for inviting all of us.
I wanted to single out Brian Howey and Nate Rosenfield and Steph Quinn and Mr. Joshi for just doing some excellent work. Of course, Brian and Nate have been working on it for years now.
Mm-hmm.
And Mook and Steph just joined us, and they did the chicken house story. So,
Clap, clap.
That's fun. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Jerry.
Thank
We're
you
gonna
so much,
we gotta
Jerry.
go to break, but I know you're busy and you got something to do. So, but we appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate
Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, y'all stay with us.
Take
We'll be
care.
right back
Thanks.
here. WYB 103.9.
Bye.
3.9.
Bye.
.1039 WYAB.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit AmericansForProsperity.org. Be a part of positive change at AmericansForProsperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
I'm Sean Yurtkron, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom, first as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work.
CBS News Brief. The doors to the Sistine Chapel have closed and the conclave to select a new pope has begun. CBS's Nora O'Donnell in Rome.
The church is at a crossroads. So this is a critical choice, a monumentally important sign of how the Catholic Church will move forward.
The cardinals from 70 countries will be sequestered from the outside world. Today is finally the day the real ID requirement goes into effect for domestic flights. It's been a long time coming and the urgency long forgotten by many.
Wish that they made it a bit more mandatory. I got my ID last year. I got it renewed and they asked me if I wanted a real ID and they said, oh, you won't really need it. So I didn't get it.
CBS's Jill Schlesinger is keeping a close eye on the Fed, which will announce its decision on interest rates soon.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell is likely to say that they want to see more data before deciding what to do next.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 365 points. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
If you ever been stuck on the side of the road with engine trouble or because of an accident, you know how frustrating that can be. I'm Chad Stevens of Chad Stevens Wrecker Service. We'll help take some of the stress out of this stressful situation. We've been rated by AAA as one of the top 10 towing services in the entire USA. Why? Well, just ask our customers. So keep our number in your cell phones and call us if you need us. 662-755-8645. That's Chad Stevens Wrecker Service. 662-755-8645.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Y'all come see us at Flora Animal Hospital, your trusted hometown vet. We offer a wide variety of veterinary services, including boarding. Dr. Kaylee McCary is a Madison County native who has been serving the Flora community and surrounding areas since 2013. She leads our team of highly trained and compassionate women. We are located at 740 Highway 49 in the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Call us today at 601-879-3222. At Flora Animal Hospital, we treat your pets like our own.
Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality cars, trucks, and SUVs. Priced to fit your budget. At Pops Auto, we specialize in trucks. From four-wheel drives to diesels, our satisfied repeat buyers know Pops has one of the largest truck inventories for any independent dealer, period. Browse Pops inventory at popsautosales.llc.com and get pre-approved for a zero down payment with approved credit. With warranties and service contracts available. Pops Auto Sales, your home for trucks. Highway 49 South in Florence.
Come together.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle, Sean and Lindsay, where politics meets passion, literally.
Yeah, we want to thank Jerry for coming on.
Yes, thanks, Jerry.
He and his team has done like exhaustive efforts the last 2 years. I think it's Nate Roosevelt, Brian Howie, and then he's got some other ones that, like he said, wrote the chicken farm story. You know that chicken farm's near my dad's old factory in Puckett, and I guess I don't remember it, but the funny thing about that story, it didn't really, I don't know. I guess it was one of the things that bothered me the least. I'm like, well, you're gonna have inmates work out there. Oh well, it was just one of those things. I just thought it was funny. I didn't really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it really bothers a lot of people to have the inmates working out there. But now, when it comes to the money buying the equipment and the gravel, all that stuff, if it's being paid for by tax dollars and the people, then there's a problem there, obviously.
Right. Yeah. If you're, I think was there allegations from one of the Goon Squad members, Christian Devin, I think that he actually stolen the gravel or something. They put like a magnet over the sheriff's department's vehicle.
Right.
So that's what, and of course, I don't
know how you prove all that, or if anybody's even going to look into it, or if there will be charges brought. But I mean, it seems like that would be a pretty cut and dry. Either he paid for it or the county did.
Yeah, that's what it's. And I think they released the sheriff released a statement saying that they had paid for gravel. So, and you got to take it with a grain of salt. I know Christian Denman obviously is looking to do whatever he can to
cut a deal somehow.
To reduce his time, get some substantial departure, I would think. So, in that aspect, I don't know what's true or not, whether they did that or not. It just that's the reporting that's what he said, and they were just reporting what he said.
It's been a bad week though. Bad week for Steve, huh?
Bad week for the Rankin County Board of Supervisors had a very, very rough week. From a citizen uproar over a zoning regulation to this kind of statement. I just I listened to it. I know Jerry didn't. Jerry was there. And I was asking, and I was, I'm sort of kidding about do you drink at the prayer breakfast or whatever the breakfast is called? But I mean, he sounded like he was drinking to me. I don't know if he was, but it just the way his voice came across, and maybe that's just the way he sounds. I've never talked to him before, so. But it just sounded like, okay, maybe was he just being boisterous or what? Because I mean, I can't, it'd be different, I guess, if he was. I'm not different, but sort of different if he was making that statement to a guy sitting next to him, like people do. But
to say it so publicly,
in front of a microphone,
there's just no shame as to what happened, and I think that's what kind of rubs people the wrong way. I know, Sean, my invitation to the breakfast may be revoked.
Well, I've never been before, so, that he would feel comfortable making a statement that is obvious. It's obviously racist. Let's just say what it is, the way it was portrayed. And I mean, these guys aren't, for one thing, I don't know. There's some allegations about drug use. Okay, fine. I get that. But has anybody ever said they were a rapist before? Where did that come from?
No, I don't know. I guess that's just something he threw out there. I don't know. Maybe they think it makes the county look better if these are just really bad people. So let's say they're really bad so that we don't look as bad. But I don't know how you can reconcile any of what they did. What they did was disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, and then you couple with the comments about people coming over across the river, which is the Pearl River.
And that's really grinded my
ties
gears
it together. Yeah. that's a kind of a race-based argument, which the county's working so hard to get past all of this, and
this just sets them back.
the best way to do it is just to say, God, we are sorry about this. This was a bad incident with some bad guys, and we are doing everything we can to rectify it. And whether the sheriff knew about it or not, maybe he didn't know about it. I don't know what his. I don't
I'm
know.
sorry. There's no way you can make me believe that he didn't know something. And there are there are witnesses who've come forward with testimony saying, "Hey, these kind of things happened to me. I went to the sheriff. He didn't want to hear it."
Sure.
So I don't believe that Brian Bailey didn't know what was going on. Now, all that's just my own opinion.
Sure.
But I think he had to know something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on your opinion. I'm just I think he probably knew something. I don't know that, but what I'm trying to say is even if he didn't know anything, the apologies are all you need to do in this situation. This is really bad. We're going to rectify this. And they've released statements like that. You need to say nothing else on something like this, because this needs to just, be handled with kid gloves kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when you have an elected official making statements like he made, like you said earlier, not only does it make the county look bad, it makes what people think about Mississippi. Like, they're like, okay, well, that's true. There's a breakfast in Rankin County, and it's a good old boy system, and they're making racist comments about black people.
So many friends in Rankin County. Yeah. I don't believe that they're not racist people.
No, absolutely not.
So
I went to high school in Rankin County. I agree with you 100%. But it's just, was it one bad apple spoils a bunch kind of thing?
Right.
And that's what's unfortunate, I think. Because I saw the people even in the Rankin County Facebook groups yesterday. People were going crazy about how racist it was. They're like, we're not racist.
Oh,
like,
yeah, they're wanting him gone.
Yeah.
I imagine he needs to rethink his career.
No, I mean I absolutely think he should resign over something like this. This is like, if anybody, other politician, any part of the country made some statements like that, got caught on recording saying something that was obviously racist, they would probably have to resign. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, what did Al Franken even resign? Did he resign for like sexual jokes? He would, in any part of the country, you would have to do that.
Yeah. And he's already got so many people upset with him right now anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
over the land situation.
No, this is kind of stuff that's going to end up on Bill Maher Friday night. I guarantee you that it's going to go viral like that. There's like, let's play this. I mean, it's one of those kinds of situations that are that bad. I'm sure it's already hit TikTok and all over the country by now.
Yeah, I mean, it spread like wildfire yesterday. As soon as this article was released, there were those Brandon, Rankin County groups on Facebook were lit up.
Yeah, it's going to go. I mean, well, Jerry works with the New York Times, in conjunction these articles with the New York Times.
Right.
I have a feeling this is going to pop into the New York Times, and then it's going to pop on all the other places. It's going to go everywhere because, and here's the problem with it. I mean, there's a lot of problems with it, but it feeds the narrative that the national media, that I don't agree with a lot of crap they do. Like we were talking about Michael Reinwald and Stephen Frederick and the NBC article. This is a shoot young father when the guy was a drug dealer.
Right, exactly. Made him look like such a victim when in fact it was self-defense is what,
Absolutely.
His actions are what got him killed.
Right. He was a dope dealer and he tried to run over the cops and he got killed. But my point is the national media has already got a liberal bias. We all know that. So you give them some actual red meat that shows what they want to report anyway, it's going to go everywhere.
Yeah, and it feels like that's just kind of the mood of the country right now with these different things that have happened recently as well, with the shallow woman who, has made all this money after using the N-word, talking to a 5-year-old kid and caught on video. And, of course, then what's his name? The kid in Texas that stabbed another kid.
Carmelo Anthony. And
yeah.
Austin
And so
Metcalf,
all of these like very race hot topic issues are big in the country right now. And this kind of plays right into that. So I just hate that people are all so divided over the race issue. And I feel like we've come so far that we shouldn't have
maybe
these
we haven't
types
come
of
as
problems.
far as you think, though.
Maybe not.
I mean,
I don't see it in my everyday life. I don't see people who act racist or are racist. And so to know that things still happen and still go on. I mean, you were telling me about Puckett where you go, like you couldn't, do certain things there.
No, that episode. I was talking about somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah, not Puckett. Puckett's great. Whatchamacallit, my problem was with it is what I was saying about the liberal bias in the media. They're already looking to make Mississippi look bad. They love it. I mean, they really do. Like they eat up with this stuff. I mean, I'm just looking, that's my side of the aisle.
We're the racist rednecks. That's
they love it.
That's the stereotype.
And I mean, they already made 2 innocent cops look like they killed a young father, which is not, it's not what happened.
Right.
They are going to make, this is going to fit into the narrative they want. And they've got and it's not like, oh, we're going to deny that these statements were made. There's a effing recording of it, So like, it's going to give them what they're like, look, elected Mississippi official says a bunch of racist
Comfortable
stuff,
enough to say it
yeah.
publicly at a microphone at a meeting in front of 100 people.
It's going to go national in like 48 hours. I guarantee it. Like that's that's what they want to think about us, which sucks because most people are not that way.
Right.
So that's unfortunate. And the state has done such a good job of trying to wrest itself from the past. The prosecution of Byron Dellebeck with Jerry Mitchell was involved in, and Vernon Dahmer, all those things that have been the work that good people have put in. And then you see some, crap like this, and it makes you mad.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we got to take our last commercial break, but y'all stay with us right here. We will be right back. WIB 103.9. .9.
WYAB.
Rapid Oil Change has been the fast service leader in oil changes for over 40 years. With parts to fit most makes and models in stock, it's easy to see why we are Central Mississippi's leader in fast service. We feature brands like Castrol, Mobile One, Rain-X, Lucas, and Full Throttle. We do more than just change oil, with services like wiper blades, new tires, tire repair, cabin filters, air filters, and much, much more. Open 6 days a week and ready to serve. Stop by one of our 6 fast-friendly locations today. We accept most national fleets, and local fleets are welcome.
Pet emergencies don't wait, so why should you? At Urge Vet Emergency Vets of Madison, we offer low wait times and cutting-edge technology to provide fast, expert care for all household pets. Our hours of operation are weeknights 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. and 24 hours on weekends and holidays. Our phone number is 601-790-1918, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Because when it comes to your pet's health, trust the team that's fast, reliable, and compassionate.
We all make plans for the future. Like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Jamie Creel for a free personal protection review.
B-Dubs cocktails, pretzel knots, and mozzarella sticks. It's all on me today.
Oh, so you're happy hour rich. When the happy hour menu is only $3 to $6 from 3 to 6 p.m.
$3 to $6? That's crazy.
You know we're at happy hour right now from 3 to 6 p.m.
It's happy hour? Crazy.
We were here yesterday, too.
Crazy.
Quit playing. I'm going to let you pay, though.
Food, beer, and cocktails for $3 to $6 from 3 to 6 p.m. Buffalo Wild Wings for the greatest of all times. Monday through Friday only. Beer deals available all day at participating locations. Taxes and fees apply. Dine in only. Drink responsibly. Offers vary by location. Void where prohibited.
Attention homeowners and business owners. Complete Exteriors is now Elite Roofing and Gutters. Are your roof and gutters storm ready? The folks at Elite are your local experts in storm protection. Now is the time for an inspection and for proactive solutions that ensure your roof and gutters can withstand any storm. Get up to a possible $250 rebate on a new roofing system for all active military, veterans, and retirees. Online at eliteroofer.com.
Hey, this is Ben Ingram from the Braves Radio Network. We're in commercial right now, so I want to let my sister take over and tell you about Hometown Property Group.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mary Claire Putman with Hometown Property Group. Whether you're buying or selling, we are committed to guiding you through your real estate transaction with integrity, exceptional service, and remarkable results. Madison County has been my home for 40 years. I'd love to help make it yours, too.
That's Hometown Property Group. Give them a call at 601-853-6080.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris at Fannin Mart on the Res is quickly becoming Rankin County's go-to spot for pizza, burgers, pasta, appetizers, daiquiris, and more. Try their famous Wheel of Flavor pizza. You can add up to 3 different specialty pizzas onto one pie, such as the Margarita, Sergeant Pepperoni, Acme Beat Buster, Pig, Pesto Chicken, the Old Mexico, the Supreme, or hey, just build your own custom pizza. Acme also has a full bar with 9 different frozen daiquiris to choose from. Open daily at 4 p.m. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris.
I'm David Frederick, owner of Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. I'm here to tell you that it's the best time to buy a new Exmark zero-turn mower. With unmatched quality of cut, ease of operation, and low maintenance, it's no wonder why Exmark is the #1 choice of landscape professionals. With sizes starting at 42 inches and 0% financing available, we have an Exmark zero-turn for all size lawns. Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. Come by my store and see why Frederick's has been leading the way and serving you for 30 years since 1993.
Come together.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay. So, Sean, you going to make it out to the Rankin County breakfast next month?
No.
No?
No, I'm not. I don't.
Did you make it to CrossFit this morning?
No, I'll go at 5:30 today, but I did Peloton ride this morning, so I did that. But I'll go to CrossFit at 5:30.
You're not going to get to see Kim at that time, though.
No, he goes at lunch. That's when he goes. He goes only at lunch.
I wonder if he listens to us while he's at CrossFit.
No, I don't. I mean, well, he takes enough breaks during the class that he probably would have time to do that, I would think. Anyway, so again, like, it's awesome, Jerry, coming in talking about this. We'll see what happens to Mr. Gaines and what the constituents in Rankin County, how they feel about it. It seems like there's a lot of anger over the stuff, and we'll see whether Trent Walker sues. I think he's probably going to, just by his statements, and I kind of know him pretty well, known him for a long time, and he's a good attorney, and I imagined there's a lawsuit coming.
But
shortly.
If you are those two guys, those two victims, basically, that I call them victims of the goon squad, who were, I mean, the guy got shot.
Yeah.
And, scared to death. And obviously the police overuse their authority in a big kind of way. And then they're going to be lying about them and their past after they've already been through all of this. And I guess I would sue.
Yeah. And, and what's even the most disturbing to me is that the statement, we beat the pants off these guys. Like, the entire county lost, the entire state lost when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody from Mississippi won here.
No.
Like, this was just, and so you didn't beat anything. You created a narrative that we're all still like 1960. That's what you did. And, so everybody's worked. So many people have tirelessly worked to change that narrative, black, white people together, done those things.
And so many people were disgusted by this behavior.
Yeah.
Therese wrote an article, and the first thing that she said when this whole story came out and we found out the facts behind it was, how dare they?
Yeah.
So the consensus was, how dare they? How dare they think that they can treat people that way?
And not only the racial rhetoric, Lindsay, or the racial narrative that we have in the state for so long, the danger that you put law enforcement into.
Exactly.
Like, that you put them and what people view their careers and how they're like, you did that too. Like, you did all those things, and now you're just reaffirming it.
Because if you're one of these guys, you're definitely not going to trust law enforcement when they pull you over. You're going to be scared to death, which is going to just make the entire situation escalate.
Right. It's sad, and like I said, especially it's sad for an elected official to behave that way, to say things. It's such a horrific event for the county, for the state, for the people of Mississippi, and those two individuals that to get attacked, and all the other ones that got attacked. It's just it's a terrible thing. I hope he learns his lesson from this. It's been made publicized, and when it hits the national media, that'll be even more. So.
I hope so. Well, I want to thank Jerry Mitchell for calling in today and being with us here on Crossing the Aisle. And we'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place. Find us on YouTube and Facebook at Crossing the Aisle with Sean and Lindsay, or find us on our personal Facebook pages. But we will see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks.